The wind howled across the Wyoming plains, carrying dust and silence in equal measure. It was late afternoon when the rancher, Colt McCade, spotted her, barefoot, bloodied, and running like the devil himself was behind her. Her pale dress was torn, her hair tangled by the wind, and her eyes. They carried the kind of fear that only comes from being hunted. Colt reined in his horse, squinting against the golden glare of the sun. "Ma'am, you hurt?" he called out, his voice low but steady. She spun around, clutching a rock like it was her last weapon, her chest heaving. "Don't come closer," she warned. "I'd rather die than be yours." Her words cut through the quiet like a whip crack. Colt froze, his hand halfway to his holster, not in threat but instinct. He'd heard those words before, from another woman long buried under prairie grass. Only this time he saw something fierce beneath the fear. Her name, he later learned, was Clara. She had been promised, sold, really, to the Black Creek Gang's leader, a man older than her father, with gold teeth and no soul. She'd run before the wedding, her dowry stolen and her heart heavy, with the knowledge that her own family had traded her away for land and whiskey. Colt dismounted slowly, laying his rifle on the ground. "Ain't nobody here gonna hurt you," he said, holding out his hands. Clara backed away, trembling but defiant. "You're one of them. All you men are the same. You take what you want and call it right." Colt looked at her, quiet for a long moment, then said, "Maybe, but not today." She was half-starved, bleeding from a wound on her leg, and yet refused to let him near her. It was only when she stumbled, collapsing in the tall grass, that Colt knelt beside her, not touching, just watching. "You've got a choice," he said softly. "Die out here alone or let me help you stand." She glared at him through tears, then spat weakly. "If I live, it'll be by my will, not yours." Colt nodded once, picked up his canteen and set it beside her before walking back to his horse. He didn't look back, not once, as he rode off toward his ranch. But halfway there, something in his chest twisted. Maybe it was the memory of his sister, killed by men who thought a woman's no meant try harder. Maybe it was the look in Clara's eyes, fire, even through fear. Whatever it was, Colt turned his horse around. By the time he returned, the sky was burning orange, and Clara was still there, clutching the canteen. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "Why'd you come back?" Colt dismounted, kneeling again. "'Cause no one deserves to be left like that." He tore a strip from his own shirt to bandage her wound, but when his fingers brushed her skin, she flinched. "Don't you dare pity me," she hissed. He met her glare and said, "Ain't pity, it's respect." The silence between them stretched long, broken only by the wind and the slow breathing of his horse. For the first time, Clara's shoulders eased, her grip on the rock loosening. That night he built a small fire while she rested against a log, her eyes darting toward every sound. Colt didn't ask questions, didn't push her to talk. But when she whispered, "They'll come for me," he said simply, "then they'll find me in their way," and that was that. Somewhere between the crackle of the fire and the whisper of the grass, something fragile began to shift. Clara wasn't safe yet, but for the first time in a long time she wasn't alone. By dawn, Colt had saddled his horse and prepared a second one for Clara. She stood, leaning against a fence post, watching him with weary suspicion. "You can ride to the sheriff's office 2 towns over," he said. "Tell them you're under McCade protection. They'll know what it means." She didn't move.
"Why are you helping me?"
Colt tightened the reins and said quietly, "'Cause someone once helped me when I didn't think I was worth saving." He looked up, his eyes steady. "You don't owe me nothing, Clara. You just keep riding until you're free." But freedom wasn't a simple road. Before they could leave, the sound of hooves thundered across the field. 6 men, their silhouettes dark against the rising sun. The Black Creek Gang had found her. Clara froze, her breath catching. Colt stepped forward, rifle in hand. "Stay behind me." "No!" she cried, gripping his arm. "If they see you helping me, they'll kill you too." Colt smirked faintly.
"Darlin', they've been trying to kill me since I was 17.
"Let's give them another reason to fail." The gang leader, a heavy-set man with gold teeth glinting in the light, called out, "That girl's ours, rancher. Step aside and maybe we'll let you live." Colt didn't move. "She ain't property," he said. "You want her, you go through me." The next moments were thunder and smoke. Gunfire cracked through the morning. Clara screamed as Colt fired, each shot precise and unflinching. When the dust cleared, 3 men were down, 2 had fled, and 1 The leader was crawling toward his gun. Colt approached him, reloading slowly. "You sold your soul for power," he said coldly. "But you forgot. Every man bleeds the same." He raised the rifle. But before he could pull the trigger, Clara stepped forward. "No," she said softly. "Don't." Her voice trembled, but her eyes burned with something stronger. "Killing him won't make me free. It'll make me like them." Colt hesitated, his jaw tightening. For a long, silent moment, the air seemed to hold its breath. Then he lowered the rifle and turned away. "Your call, Clara." She stared at him, stunned. In her world, men took, decided, controlled. But this man, this quiet, weathered stranger, had done the unthinkable. He had chosen her will over his own. As the sun climbed higher, she helped him bury the bodies, her hands trembling but resolute. When it was done, she looked out over the open land. "I said I'd rather die than be yours," she murmured. "But maybe I was wrong." Colt looked at her, then away, tipping his hat. "You don't owe me nothing," he repeated. "Just live." Days later, Clara rode into town alone. The sheriff offered her protection and a new start. But every night, when the wind swept across the plains, she thought of the rancher who taught her that real strength wasn't about possession. It was about letting someone choose their own freedom. And somewhere back on that lonely stretch of land, Colt McCade stood on his porch, looking out at the horizon, whispering to the wind. Guess she finally found her way home.